Hello, everyone. Welcome to my weekly Meltdowns rewatch of RuPaul's Drag Race, episode 6, available on CBS All Access.
Season 6.
Season 6, episode 1 and 2.
Yes, episode 1 and 2. Listen, okay. Look, I don't expect, yes. My face during the first steps of the show, trying to understand what's happening.
I'm so stoked for this.
I've never seen RuPaul's Drag Race. I know who RuPaul is. I love drag queens. I need one in my life to do my makeup. Just one time I need my hair and makeup done. I'm sure they would have a field day with me right now. But anyway, like if I had just walked, what would you call this look?
I have no idea. This is all Beth's territory.
Wait, your specific look?
Like, now, what would RuPaul call this look?
White girl realness.
White girl realness.
Fly swatter chic.
What'd you say?
Fly swatter chic, maybe?
That's right. No, I like white girl realness.
White girl realness. Basic white girl. Yeah.
I'm a basic white girl.
Waffle House Wednesday.
Waffle House Wednesday. It's Waffle House Thursday.
I know. Yeah, it's the wrong day, but whatever.
Okay, anyway, hello, Hoofland. Hoofland is in the. I can't talk. Can we just get to this, please? I have so much to say. Welcome.
So obviously this is my area of expertise. We're talking about Drag Race. I decided that since Tyler and Allison had never seen Drag Race before, that season 6 really is just like the best season to jump into. I was saying right before we went live though, that they don't have the benefit since they're not really involved with like the drag community, nor have they watched a lot of Drag Race or drag related shows. They're really coming into this kind of blind, so to say. So a lot of this is going to be great because we're going to get questions answered. I want people to ask questions. If you haven't seen Drag Race and you're a patron and you want to know some stuff, put it in the chat, put it as a comment underneath the video. I will gladly answer them. And you know, we're just going to have a good old time with this. There's a lot of really wonderful personalities on this that I just felt like, okay, Allison is going to have a field day trying to react to this. Tyler's going to have strong opinions once the season really gets going.
Yeah. So, Beth, like, why season 6? Like, is season 6 considered like the best of the best for RuPaul's Drag Race?
Season 6 is widely considered to be the best or one of the best. I consider it the best in terms of normal season. So RuPaul also has 5 all-star seasons, and then there's like a one-off like Christmas special kind of thing. But that was like a 1-episode musical thing that was so like even more campy than what you saw there, to the point where it was cringy. It was like season 4 of Glee. That's how cringy we're talking.
Listen, as a Glee like super fan, I was Gleek of the Week one week when it was airing. So I understand that reference and I get it well.
Okay, very good, very good.
I'm ready to get into this Rolodex of hate.
Here's what I.
It's my new favorite thing to say.
I needed Allison to watch Bianca Del Rio. This is the main reason why I chose season 6. Besides the fact it's widely considered to be the best one, it has characters like Bianca Del Rio. It has characters like Darian Lake and Ben de la Creme, Laganja Estranja, Gia Gunn. We have all these really strong personalities that are going to clash. And they're going to be messy, and they're going to have some of the best one-liners you've ever heard in your life.
I'm already a mess because I don't know who I'm talking about. So we might have to bring up pictures.
Yes. Oh, we will.
I genuinely don't know who I'm talking about.
We will. We will absolutely have your cheat sheet available. Tyler has got it once we get into the queens and the looks and such. But what I thought I would do, since this is our first time ever covering Drag Race, and because you two haven't watched it except for the first 2 episodes of season 6, I'm going to generally cover how the format of the show works, which is basically, if you can think of this as like America's no, sorry. I was going to say there's like a top model aspect to it to a certain extent. Yeah. There's a Project Runway aspect to it. those kind of things. It's competitive. People go once every week. One queen goes a week, I mean. And basically, the top queen normally wins a prize. And then the bottom 2 queens of the week have to lip sync for their life. Whoever wins the lip sync stays. Whoever loses the lip sync leaves the competition. So
lip syncing is amazing.
Now, my question is, like, do they know all the songs that they are potentially lip syncing for in advance? Like, how does all of that work in terms of like preparing for this?
So what you'll see, so I will get to that question in a second.
Okay,
so
sorry.
No. It's a really great question, and I will definitely cover it within the context. So basically, every episode, the queens are typically given a mini challenge, which is something normally like really stupid and campy. This time it wasn't. It's the photo shoot, which was still campy to a certain extent, but like you end up getting like really cool photos that come out of it too. But normally it'll be something like ridiculous. And I think it's episode 3 that you'll watch next is like the epitome of ridiculous. But it's so stupid and so much fun and silly, and you just like laugh. And whoever wins the mini challenge oftentimes gets to have some kind of impact on the maxi challenge, which is the main challenge of the episode. This week's maxi challenge for both of the 2 opening episodes was a construction challenge, which is you have to construct a garment using the items that you have there and then any fabric that's on a wall that they have in the workroom. So it's not like you can just like bring stuff from home and just say this is within the theme. You actually have to construct an outfit within like, I think they're given like 48 hours altogether. So design to construction. So that's the main part of like the challenges. Every episode also has a runway. Now the runway actually comes out of what is widely, which it comes from the ball scene, which is an LGBTQ IA scene, mostly people of color in the 80s. Well, actually, it became like really rose in the 80s. That's where voguing came out of, those kind of things. But it's been around for a lot longer. The 60s, they had pageants, all those different kinds of things. But it basically was people who had been outcasted by society, mostly because of their sexuality or their gender, who normally didn't have any kind of other family. And they created this like, we have no money, but we're going to create our own clothes and we're going to get together and we're going to give you realness for corporate. We are never going to be corporate because they won't give us the opportunity to be, but this is what I would wear if I was a power ass bitch, like running a company. And they would do those kind of things. And then they would have like, you know, a competition about face. So like the way that you model your face better than the other people, the way that you Vogue better than other people, they would do all these different categories. So every week there's a different category for the runway, unless the maxi challenge like this week is create a garment. And then that's obviously the category for that runway. Mm-hmm. So that's basically how the structure of the show works every week.
Okay.
And then when it comes to the lip syncing, the queens are told, here's all the songs it could be for this whole season. And then they're told like at the beginning of each week, which is really like every time they're given a challenge, it's only like, they're only given like 2 to 3 days per challenge. Mm-hmm. They actually hear like, okay, so it's going to be between these 2 songs. And then right before they like have to lip sync, they get told which song it is.
Okay.
So, there's another series that goes along with Drag Race called Untucked, which is when the queens leave the stage and the judges are doing their critiques in the main show. Untucked actually takes place when the queens are backstage, and you get to hear, that's when they get into all their fights. You're like, I didn't think that you deserved that criticism. That's too nice. And like all that kind of stuff. Like that's what they get. So Untucked, you'll often see people with like an iPod and they have like one headphone in because they're yelling at somebody, but they're also listening to Madonna because they might have to lip sync, like that kind of thing. So that's just gives you an idea.
I have a fun fact.
Yes.
2 fun facts about me. 1, I've won a lip sync challenge.
So have I.
Really? What was the song, Allison?
What was the song?
Yeah, I want to know what the song was.
It was in my acting class. And we had to do lip sync, like practice lip syncing, because there are a lot of actors who play musicians that don't really sing, but they had to learn how to really sing it. And this was like 10 years ago. And the song that I did was Cherry Bomb by the Runaways.
Okay. So here's the best part about that. Cherry Bomb's a lip sync in what is the ultimate absolute ultimate best season of Drag Race, which is Drag Race All Stars 2. And that's one of the best lip syncs of all time. But anyway, I was just
and my second fun fact is I know every word to Madonna's Vogue, even the rap part.
So here's
word for word.
I mean, maybe Allison and I should have a lip sync off during one of these shows.
I would not be mad at this. I would be the judge. I would go for it. It would be great. What I want to tying Madonna's Vogue into all of this, which makes it interesting. Michelle Visage, who's RuPaul's best friend, who is on the judges panel. She was in the ball scene in the 80s when she moved to New York for college. And she was really good at her category was face. She would always like model off her face and do those kind of things, which is why her last name is Visage, like her stage name. Her idol is Madonna. And when she was at a party, like this big party where RuPaul ended up being there and they hadn't met yet, all these different things, Madonna was at the party and saw her Vogue and saw all these other people Vogue. And she wrote the song Vogue based off of that. And then Michelle Visage was like, this is amazing. And like kept performing the song. And then they basically Madonna's team sent Michelle Visage a cease and desist letter because they were like, you're just trying to be Madonna now. She's like, she stole it from me, but she's my queen. So I'll let her have it. So fun facts there.
Madonna is like, okay, I grew up, you get to be a child of the 80s. Okay. Borderline, Holiday, Like a Virgin. Like I grew up in the MTV era. I was like 6-7 years old when Like a Virgin came out. This is a fun fact. And then we'll get into the show. Have you ever seen the video for Like a Virgin?
Yes.
Madonna is walking around with a damn tiger. Little Allison thought a virgin was a tiger. So I'm sitting here telling like a virgin, and I'm like, Mama, I want a virgin. And she's like, what? And I said, I want a virgin. She goes, what are you talking about? You want a, where did you hear that? Madonna's walking around with a virgin on her, on it, you know, in the video, like a virgin. She's like, it's a tiger.
Oh,
you have got like my mom. That whole thing was like, I literally, like my 6-year-old mind thought a virgin was a tiger.
I love that. I love that.
But anyway, I grew up with one of these days, maybe before the show's over, who knows? Maybe I'll do the Vogue rap if I feel like it.
I think that should.
I would love to see that.
Yes, maybe that should be a patron only special.
Yeah, me.
Unlocked at like the $10 level. Allison does like the whole music video for Vogue.
I love this. We're going to make it happen. Yeah. That's great. And Joseph Boza makes a really great point. Funny they brought up Madonna. Her music is the lip sync for part 1 of the premiere, which is absolutely correct. Yes. So we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So
okay, sorry, my ADD's kicking. I'm all over.
That's all right.
So I was given some really great questions already in our little group chat about the show. And what I thought would be great is like, let's start off with the questions. I mean, this is a really confusing show, honestly, to jump into if you're not already a part of the culture. Yeah. So lay it on me. Let's see if I can answer the questions or if there are people in the chat that want to take them. And like I say all of these answers as someone who's hung out with drag queens.
Yes,
Valencia. Been to drag con. The secret word is
virgin.
But I say all of this fully also recognizing that I am not a drag artist. I am a member of the LGBTQ community, but there is a certain amount of this that this isn't necessarily my culture either. So when I explain this, I'm explaining what you see on the television and putting it in layman's terms. But if there is somebody who is a drag queen or a person of color, a queer person of color that comes from some of these backgrounds and that can better explain it, please put in the comments. I welcome those comments so that we can better educate ourselves. So bring on any questions that you guys have.
Yeah, so my question is like, my biggest question is like pronouns. Like, so when you're referring to the, like when they are dressed up in drag, they are referred to as she, correct?
Yeah.
And then like when they're out of their drag outfits and makeup and stuff like that, they are then back to he, most of the time, like if that's what they're identifying as, right?
Correct. So because drag is performative for entertainment and not necessarily there are notable exceptions, and we will get it. And actually the notable exceptions are in this season, which is what's interesting. There are notable exceptions, but drag for the most part is meant for just a performance and for entertainment. It's not meant as a part of somebody's identity.
So it's like improv acting kind of?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're putting on a character, you're putting on another side of yourself, but it's a character that's meant for entertainment. So think about somebody like on a sketch comedy show, like who has like their go-to character that's like really funny. So if you think of SNL, like there's like Rachel Dratch has Debbie Downer. You know how like Debbie Downer is like, you can clock who Debbie Downer is.
Yeah.
And you know that's Rachel Dratch, but it's Rachel Dratch putting on a character for fun. It's similar to that. It's, drag artists put on a character for fun, but what their character does is typically a hyperized version of some kind of gender identity. Men don't have to become women. Women don't have to become men. Women can be drag queens, men can be drag kings, people can be both, androgynous, all this other stuff. But basically it's playing with gender for the purposes of entertainment, if that makes sense.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where did the word drag come from?
So drag actually derives all the way back from Shakespearean times when it meant dressing as a girl. And that's when women were allowed to act on stage. So men played all the women and, men parts as well on stage. So they would be put in drag, dressing as girl at the time. So we have now adopted that to mean as dressing as a gender. So we just changed girl to gender. But there are many different areas of drag. What we see on Drag Race is really kind of a cookie cutter idea of drag. Like this is what drag is for mainstream people, but there are very alternative drags. There are fetish drags. There are people who use drag in ways that you don't even think about. Like Mrs. Doubtfire was technically drag. Like there's a whole bunch of things like that.
So I have a follow-up question then. So there were like a couple instances in the first and second episode where the drag outfits were more masculine, and everybody else seemed pretty thumbs down on that. So like the beard or like the Boy Scout uniform, like that type of thing. So is the goal of like RuPaul's Drag Race in particular to be very like effeminate with like all of the outfits that they choose and looks that they create and stuff?
So RuPaul's Drag Race is again, it's growing to be more accepting of what the actual community of drag looks like. Sure. The actual community of drag has drag kings, queens, people who do both. I have a friend who's on Twitch whose name is Joy Steek, and they are actually a drag monarch, which means they'll do drag king and drag queen looks. Like they just do whatever they feel like in that moment, I would say RuPaul's Drag Race, when I say the cookie cutter, they're typically looking for whatever your style of drag is, but kind of tailor it to having more of a transformation. There's been a lot of controversy specifically over the past couple of years where RuPaul has made some really questionable transphobic comments about, we didn't have this one queen on the show, before she got boobs, so therefore she wouldn't have an edge on the competition. It's like boobs are not going to be what makes you like a better drag queen or not, if you're transitioning. So the idea isn't necessarily to just like be the fishiest, and fishy means like super woman like unclockably, like you look like a woman kind of thing. So like Courtney Act, when she walks in, you just go, that's a woman, right? Like you're
when she showed up, and what was her name?
Courtney Act, but she's Australian, so when you say it's Courtney Act, which sounds like Courtney Act.
I love that.
And she was on Celebrity Big Brother and won that season, right?
I legit thought she was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Okay.
And you see someone like her and you put her next to someone like Bianca Del Rio, who's very clown-like with her makeup and such, or someone who's a friend of mine, like Trixie Mattel, who's not in the season, but has very blocked out makeup, and it's obviously ridiculous. But one isn't favored over the other. But what you might find are little suggestions from the judges that are like, try to tone down this part of your makeup because it's distracting. Rather than like being artistic, it's actually taking away from what your goal is. Those are when Drag Race is good. But there are times where Drag Race just flat out, like, they're just basically putting their own perceptions of what they think drag should be on these queens and don't take into consideration their art or their drag, their own specific perspective. So Drag Race is not like the epitome of what everybody should look to say, oh, this is what drag is, but it's a really good introduction for people who don't watch it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I see. Cool.
All right. Well, let's get to it.
All right. So I thought what we would do is kind of just let's go queen by queen, because what basically happens in episode 1 and 2 is that they split up. Half the girls come in the first episode and half the girls come in on the second episode. I also want to contextualize that all of this happens. This was filmed in 2013 and aired in 2014. So there are some things that are said on the show that they don't do anymore. One of which is the "you got she-mail" thing. There was a lot of people who thought that was transphobic. So they got rid of the she-mail phrase. And instead, RuPaul, this doesn't make any damn sense. It's literally an interaction he had like at a fast food counter. And he thought it was so funny that he like puts it in on shows now. So instead of going, "You've got she-mail," he said, "She done had hers is." It doesn't make any damn sense, but it's so funny that that's what they say now. Yeah, he was at a fast food counter and this woman came up and said, like, they called up an order. And so he was like, "Oh, is this hers?" to like the woman next to her. And the girl working went, no, "She done had hers is." And RuPaul thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So he just like put it on the show to replace the "you've got she-mail" thing. So it doesn't make any sense, but it's funny.
All right. Who's this on our screen here?
So this is Adore Delano. So Adore Delano is the first one who enters the workroom. When she walks in, she is the epitome of charisma. So the other thing that RuPaul's Drag Race is looking for, they're looking for the world's best like drag superstar. And RuPaul always says we're looking for someone with charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, which spells the C word.
Yeah.
So if you ever hear them say like, she's giving us, I'm not going to say it just because, we're on YouTube and I won't get flagged for that kind of stuff, but C word and such.
And this video is not for kids.
Nerve and talent.
See you next Thursday.
Yeah. When we talk about Drag Race next Thursday too. Yeah. There you go. See you next Thursday. But that's what they're talking about. So she is the epitome of charisma. She's really like fun and all that kind of stuff. But this is the outfit she constructed. They were given
this one was Honey Boo Boo, right?
Yeah. So her group were all given boxes that Laganja Estranja assigned to people based off television shows. And the one that she got was "Here Comes Honey Boo Boo." What do you guys think of the outfit she's put together?
I mean, it looks more like Little Mermaid to me than anything. That's the first vibe I get. It's like a mermaid with like the teal like bottom of the dress. But I don't know. I did have a question about like their wigs in particular, because I know like one of them they said was like looked like a shake and go wig.
Shake and go wig.
But like, do they have to supply their own wigs? Which opens up the question of like, how much preparation do they need to do before coming here?
There's a lot of preparation. There are queens that have spent tens of thousands of dollars to go to Drag Race. There are queens that have literally no money.
Yeah.
And have showed up and have comparatively, when you look at the quality of the stuff, it doesn't work. But sometimes they're the most crafty queen and they could just create things, which is where a lot of the ball scene, that's what it came out of. They would literally go through dumpsters sometimes or go to thrift shops and say, I've got $5 to my name. What can I make that will get me a trophy and maybe some money that I can win, and those kind of things. So when it comes to wigs, human hair wigs are really expensive, but they're obviously the best ones. If you ever hear them talking about the lace front, it's literally they have lace that comes down here and it blends with your natural hairline so that you can't clock that the wig starts and such. Yeah. So it just looks like a natural, it looks like it's coming out of your hair. Or you have hard lines, which is when it's like you are obviously wearing a wig, when you can see like that is not, it doesn't look natural, like it's coming out of your skull. Shake and go wigs are basically the education, mama. We'd love to hear it. Thank you, Cardi. Shake and go wigs are basically like the cheap Halloween wigs that you would get like, at a store, right? Like you shake it to make it look like it has some kind of body to Halloween. You put it on and you go. Shake and go.
Walgreens clearance.
Yeah. Like there's not much you can do to style those. You can't really take curling irons and such have them actually stay versus other synthetic wigs and other higher quality synthetic wigs and human hair wigs. Like really you can style and all that stuff. So some of these queens will bring multiple wigs and just restyle them. And sometimes they're wearing multiple wigs at a time. You just don't even know it, just to get a certain illusion going.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this one didn't like lean into the trailer park chic of it all. It's just very bland. I don't really get Honey Boo Boo vibes too much, except for the big hair.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What do you think, Allison?
I mean, it's just like it looks like Mama Boo Boo after her meth run. And that's all I got. It looks like Mama June after her body makeover and then went on her meth tirade. And this is the result.
You know, if she had come out and said, I'm trying to give you Mama June after, I mean, this would have been well before she had weight loss surgery and all that kind of stuff. But I'm trying to give you Mama June on the runway realness. I might have allowed her some privilege, but we all saw from the buildup and the edit that, first of all, she doesn't know how to sew. So half these queens come into the show knowing that sewing is a big part of some of the challenges they're going to do, and they don't know how to sew.
Yeah.
And then and they're just like, I'll hot glue it. Adora goes one step further and hot glues this whole thing to the mannequin, so she can't get it off.
That was freaking hilarious.
Fighting with the mannequin.
That would have been me. Totally me. But to me, it kind of looks like, Honey Boo Boo in 20 years.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. It wasn't a good outfit, and we know that.
The mannequin wore it better. I'm sorry.
So here's Ben de la Creme. Ben de la Creme, also known as Ben, or you can say Dela, has a terminally delightful, like, kind of personality when she's in drag. But when she's out of drag and you see her boy self, she's very has this voice and she just talks like this in the confessional. And it's just like a very different personality. But Ben comes onto this season. The winner in season 5 and Ben are really good friends. So there's a lot of pressure on Ben's shoulders. You don't really see that on the show, I don't think, ever. But you see it a lot in the Untucked if you ever watched that. This creme, if you're nasty, you're right, Rory, on that one.
And this is Golden Girls, right?
Golden Girls. So she had the cheesecake that she was eating, and it definitely, and remember that they're taking TV shows and they're trying to make them look like a couture look that you would see in a fashion magazine or on a runway. And out of all the looks, this really looked incredibly tailored to her body. And I really enjoyed it myself, but I would love to hear your impressions on it.
Well, I'm not too versed in Golden Girls. It's one of my boyfriend's favorite shows. So he really loved the dress. He loved the cheesecake touch to it. But yeah, I think the actual production of the dress looks really nice, right? Like you said, it really fits to her body. I like the thing that goes over the arm. I don't know what it's called, but
I don't even know if I know. It's we'll just say it's a train that
but I like it, and the color scheme looks good together too.
It's very Blanche Dubois.
Yeah.
Who is a character. Yes, Allison knows the Golden Girls show.
I was going to say, you would have been you should be like a Golden Girl in like, 20, 30 years. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you said 20 or 30 years. I was about to get very upset that you would assume that I should be one now.
Everybody assumes that the Golden Girls all were like really old, but they really, when the season starts, they're like in their 60s or something, right?
Yeah. And that's a lot older than me. But no, I liked it. I thought it was a cute outfit. I really liked it. I don't know what's happening on her head, but I'm not used to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we have Laganja Estrada. Now, Laganja has the most iconic entrance of all time, where she just came out and she goes, "Oh, y'all wanted a twist, eh? Come on, season 6, let's get sick, Nick," and just like goes and does that death drop so seamlessly, and you're like, whoa! Nobody had ever done anything like that as they just entered the workroom for the first time. So Laganja is a dancer by trade, and actually a couple years ago, for the past 2 years, she was on So You Think You Can Dance, but she reached the age limit, so she aged out of it. Had made it to Hollywood and had done a couple shows there and then got cut. But she's somebody has a classically trained dance background, is a dance teacher, but it also is just like so crazy over the top in the season. I can't wait to see what you guys.
Is this the one that was like absolutely?
No, that's
absolutely. Okay.
No, she was the one that was just like, okay, but this is, they kind of gave her like meh remarks for this, which I would agree with. It just looks like she's wearing a corset with a fabric and some it looks like granny panties.
Yeah, it was just kind of forgettable. And I feel like whenever you like cover the neck like this, like Tyra Banks says in Top Model, like you don't want to be a no neck monster. And I feel like you're like doing like a drag outfit like this basically. So it's just not very flattering. I know it's like high fashion and stuff like that. But like when you're like trying to pose and stuff like that, I think stuff like that is important.
Yeah, that's how I pose every morning when I put my granny panties on in the mirror, just to make sure that everything looks good. I just she looks like Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Laganja did win the mini challenge for the photo shoot where where they had to launch themselves up, and she created that like really beautiful kind of photo. But again, that's her dance background really coming to play, and you'll see that the judge's reaction to her personality on the runway is going to be a recurring theme.
I see.
Okay.
So next we have...
Yes, God.
Okay, so this is the one that had the bad attitude, and Adam Lambert was like, I kind of don't like her just because of her attitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just very like nose like up in the air, like very like snooty. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
And anytime she had a confessional, she was like talking shit about somebody else too.
I think she's very insecure, and it comes off like she tries to be like, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but it just seems like she's so into herself and just like putting everyone else down and being so negative that it's almost like she's so insecure that she has to validate herself by putting everyone else down. So I'm just not into it.
Absolutely.
So Gia Gunn is absolutely this exact person that you see throughout the entirety of the time that she's on the show. And something that's an important context here is at the time, I'm not sure if she was aware of it or not, but she came out as trans a few years after the show came out. Mm-hmm. And there's people who know her pretty well who said there was a dramatic shift in like her confidence level and those kind of things. However, she is still very rough around the edges. Will tell you how she feels. And one of the themes that you see when going back to the conversation that we had earlier today in this show about, is the goal to look as most women like as possible. That's what the goal is in Gia's eyes, because Gia thinks that that's what drag is. So when she sees Milk, she and Milk, for example, who is not in her group, in Untucked, actually go at each other a little bit, because there's this idea of like, well, you're not doing drag, you're doing freak show stuff. So I don't get it. And Milk's like, no, you're just very limited in what your scope of drag is. So that fuels a lot of it too for her.
I hope that she stays around long, just because like she's like a troublemaker, like a shitster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like I'm not attacking her personally. I don't want to come up, but damn,
no.
Made me cry. What's happening here?
I wonder why her eyes are.
That's a lot.
Here. This is April Carrion. So April's the one that came out with the parachute outfit as she entered the room. April, in my opinion, and you don't really get to see it as much, but she has one of the most beautiful painted on faces. Like she just looks so beautiful in drag. But she's from Puerto Rico. And she there's been a long string of people who are on the show from Puerto Rico, and they're amazing.
Interesting.
So
I liked the look, the Duck Dynasty, high fashion couture Duck Dynasty. I don't know. It was okay. I just don't really remember like too much about her like character and like personality. Yeah. So a little bit under the radar, but I think it's good. I don't know. Like this is a good example of what like a centerpiece around the neck should look like, you know, like it brings it like to the head, but it's not like covering everything up where you're kind of like choking for air, like trying to like gasp for water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like this better. What do you think?
Words escape me. Like, I don't even know where to begin because I don't know anything about this sort of thing.
No. And here's the thing, you don't have to say anything that you feel like is like, I don't know the words for fashion or stuff because I really don't either. But if you have like, I like this, I don't like this, like whatever you're just like basic as you're looking
I mean, it's
at
very, if you're running into Walmart at 2:00 in the morning in Tennessee, you're going to see something like this in the frozen pizza aisle.
Oh, God.
I mean, wow.
So here's Vivacious. Vivacious is the one that walked in with Ornacia on her head.
Yeah, that's right.
And couldn't get the zipper undone. It's one of my favorite things. But this is Vivacious. Vivacious comes out of the club scene in New York, the club scene. I don't know if you know who Lee Bowery is, but that's the biggest name in club. But Milk is also a big club kid as well. So club kids, specifically in the 80s, were like you had the ball scene, you had club kids, and that sometimes they kind of overlapped with each other, but they were all about the absurd, like the absurdity of such. So
Mother has on that last year. Yes.
So I have a question, and I don't mean this like in an insulting way, but like, is there like an age limit for this show?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay.
And I don't think Vivacious is the oldest. I think in season 7 we have Tempest du Jour who's on the cast, and I believe Tempest is still the oldest person to have ever been, and she was in her 40s.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I don't think there's an age limit. There's a sense. Drag has changed so much so quickly because of the accessibility to see drag. It used to be you had to go to gay clubs or be a part of this almost underground culture in order to see that or have access to it. So if you were, a gay boy growing up and saw drag, or even if you saw RuPaul in the 90s, like that was your only idea of like a drag culture unless you found your way in the underground. Now kids can like look up online and see YouTube videos of how to put on makeup and how to lip sync and how to perform and all these different things. So this is important. Oh, Charlie Hides. Yes. Charlie Hides in season 9 was 52. Yes. Thank you for that. And Charlie Hides is an interesting character. I'll save my comment.
I thought that this dress was like kind of on the bland side too. But what stood out to me was her walk. It was very like poppy. Like it was very like instead of
hips go like this.
Yes, like very different from the celebrity BBUK winner. I forget her name, but like how that was like very like it like flowed like water. Like this is very like almost like more theatrical, more like showy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. And as Michelle Visage even said when she's judging her and giving her critique, she says, I know a New York walker when I see one, because that's exactly the Paulstein club kid. Like they were all about their walk. It didn't matter what your looked like if you could do the walk. And so Vivacious is an older seasoned queen who knows the walk. And remember that Vivacious had Game of Thrones, and I don't know if I get that from this particular dress.
Yeah.
I've never really watched Game of Thrones, but I do know there's the chick that rides dragons with the same color hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. And then the last
this looks so boring.
I said that she looked like Brie from Desperate Housewives. Like that was like the vibe that I was.
Yeah,
there's like nothing going on here.
Yeah,
what was her theme?
Her theme was Downton Abbey.
Yeah, this is not Downton Abbey at all. Especially when you have like Maggie Smith to like pull inspiration from Downton Abbey, like you could take that in so many better directions. But I had higher hopes for this person, like because when she was like one of the first people to come out, right? And she was just like so funny. Like she kind of had like a Kristen Wiig type of like energy. Yes. And I really love Kristen Wiig, so I was excited. So when I saw this, I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, there's nothing happening here.
So my main issues with this is that her little belt thing is way too low. It should be higher, of like actually where there's no at all. That would actually give her more of an hourglass shape that she's going for. Right now, it looks like a square, and that her waist is way too low. Like that is not. That's not it. She used the petals, and so this is called the infamous bacon dress that looks like bacon. So everybody calls it the bacon dress. Kelly Mantle, exactly. Kelly Mantle is one of the queens that I was talking about earlier, where there are exceptions to on Drag Race of how you refer to queens. So Gia Gunn, like I mentioned earlier, is a trans woman. So Gia in and out of drag is she, her, hers. Kelly is also she, her, hers, but they're gender fluid. So I also think that she goes by they, them. I think that they don't mind he, him, his as well. So but Kelly Mantle is actually Kelly's real name.
Yeah.
And Kelly Mantle is actually the niece of Mickey Mantle, the Yankees baseball player. Like,
are you fucking kidding me?
Isn't that amazing? Your uncle is Mickey Mantle, one of the most famous baseball players of all time.
Wow.
Allison's Drag
Race.
Yeah. I know a lot about baseball. I did not see that coming. That dress is not a home run.
No. That was strike 3.
Yeah,
you're batting 1,000.
Yeah.
All right. I could do this all day. That's a foul ball.
All right. So now we move.
Yeah. What is this? Like I can't.
What, Allison?
What was her theme again? Like what?
Luau.
It's definitely luau's. Yeah. I get
this is a very easy theme to do well.
It's easy. It's a hairy coconut. It's all there. It's all there. The only thing there's a little too much of is the white eyeliner. That makes me cry.
For this season, it's so funny you mention it. So this is Bianca Del Rio. Bianca is just the personality of the season. You see. She's the one with the Rolodex of hate. Allison already pulled that out earlier today, that kind of stuff. But this is Bianca, and she had the luau party theme for her dress. Any other thoughts on the dress or Bianca or anything like that?
No.
No, I mean, I think this is what a Karen after like 3 days in an all-inclusive resort feels like.
Yeah, this is Karen at the all-exclusive resort after her makeover that she went and got a massage, and they actually told her this was fashionable, and it really wasn't.
I will say, like, I liked her attitude, especially because like attitude was like a big problem with some of these people right out the gate, and I just can't imagine like having this big opportunity and then like just blowing it with like just being like a poor sport and being, I don't know, just like complaining. Whereas like Bianca was very like, yes, like I love what you're saying. Like this is my idea. It's really great. Just like very excited, enthusiastic to be there. But
also full of confidence. And a lot of this, she's a stand-up insult comedian. Like she's an insult comic. She's somebody who used to work on Broadway as a costume designer and constructor. So she's somebody that just has like all the skills and experience.
That translates to good drag. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. All
this
right.
is Courtney Act. So this is Courtney's outfit for the Republican Party.
I mean, it looks a little more beachy to me, but you know, making the Republican Party look good for once in their lives, I guess.
I know. This is the future liberals want for the Republican Party.
Just how? Like, how? Where is I have so many questions that are inappropriate right now running through my head.
Are you asking about tucking?
Where is it?
Where is it? So tucking, oftentimes what they will do is take the nuts and put them up, and then take everything, tape it back.
That's why they so my boyfriend said that's why they call each other squirrel friends, Allison, is because they hide their nuts.
Yep.
Oh Lord, I'm just learning all kinds of new stuff in 2020. Squirrels.
But she looks really good. A very like polished, like professional drag queen. So I think like this is I feel like this is who people are gonna look at and say like this is my competition. Right. This is like the big threat of the season.
And Courtney also was on the first season of Australian Idol and
made that's right.
finals. And is a household name in Australia, and then moved to the US, had a big career here, and then was randomly cast on Celebrity Big Brother UK, where she won it, and now she's like a household name in so many different countries, and she does a lot of wonderful videos about, she's gender fluid, or he, but Courtney is actually, rather than being a drag persona, is actually a part of her normal, like, she some days just walks out of the house and she's Courtney, some days she walks out and she's Shane. You know, so.
And Allison will never think of squirrels the same way again. So let's see. Next we have Darian.
Darian Lake.
So how often do they like incorporate like plus size like models, drag queens into
often they normally, well, and I say often, way more than other shows. But there's normally one or two bigger queens a season. I think Darian is likely one of the biggest queens that's ever been on. Okay. What I love the most about Darian is that, I will say this, and there are queens that disagree, but they're also not big, so I don't take their, take that seriously. What is the most empowering as a woman who has curves herself and doesn't fit the mold of such, it's been really empowering to watch so many seasons where you have these plus size women like Darian come on and just own everything and just go, I've got rolls, I've got extra skin, I've got, fat, I've got all these things that jiggle, but guess what? That's all a part of me, and this is what you're going to get. It makes it hard sometimes for them to fit the assignment if they don't know how to construct, which clearly Darian does not. But Darian is also a professional hairdresser and stylist. So
well,
great work for wigs.
She looks like Judy from Finance making a grand entrance at the Christmas party, office Christmas party.
Just so you know, there is a drag queen from Australia called Karen from Finance. Like that's literally her.
I love that.
Darian Lake is actually the name of a theme park in upstate New York, which is where she's from. So that's why her name is.
She's ready for Celebration to come on the dance floor.
I love the clutch. I think that's like that. Like,
the clutch just screams, I'm hanging around the DJ booth giving them requests.
It's like, who knows what I have in here?
Luck of the Irish kind of St. Patrick's Day. It just looks like, hey.
It's like a disco type of thing. I don't know. But it still looks good. Yeah. Certainly not the worst. Who are we on next?
I got one more, and then I've got to cut out of here, unfortunately. I apologize.
Here's Jocelyn Fox. Jocelyn is the one that thought, she really wants to be the black horse of the competition. Don't you mean the dark horse?
Oh God, that was so cringy.
What does she call herself? The black horse?
The black horse.
She's like, it is dark horse.
It's 2013. That's why.
Jocelyn is so cute and funny as a person. She's also the one that's like, I have house numbers. And Bianca goes, that's your age. And she's like, 51.
Okay, so this is going to be like a very ditzy person all season long.
She's a ditzy person, but she's so lovable as a person. She is the other thing Bianca says about Jocelyn is she's wearing every piece of jewelry that she apparently owns as she walks in, and says it looks like she just fell onto Claire's rack and said, I'll take it.
Yeah, honestly, like these are all the colors that are frequent at Claire's, and I know because I have a younger sister, so I had
an eye thing.
Yeah, or like a justice, is that what they call it?
Justice. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This is what the Southern people say. Oh, bless her heart, because this is just a mess from start to finish.
Yeah.
What did you think, Allison?
There's a lot happening here, and I'm just not, I don't even know where to begin. It's very Britney Spears at age 62, still working and opening at Vegas. That's it.
The other thing that I think is really funny about this outfit is that where her cups are for her breast are way too far down for where she's drawn on.
Yeah, that, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, what? I don't get that whole, I don't understand.
These are things as like a gay man, I like don't even see until you guys point out.
So a lot of what, just so you guys know too, a lot of what the men are doing is they will try to push whatever skin they do have together if they do happen to have like bigger breasts or whatever, chest, that kind of thing. And then what they also do is they will use contouring to actually shade out the area to make it look like theirs. So they also do that with like the necks to create like a slimmer neck and all those different kinds of things. So a lot of times you'll look at someone from head on and go, wow, they have a big rack. And then you'll see from the side and you'll see like their cups are actually sticking out here. They're flat. And it's just,
I see.
It's like shit is on their chest. So it's just, that's the funny thing to know.
Before I go, can we do one more person?
Yeah.
I got to do the one with the nose contour. That was out of control.
Magnolia.
Can we please talk about Magnolia for 2 seconds? The fuck. This is freaking Dollar General. We got to run in Dollar General, but 5 minutes before they close to find some fucking Maybelline contouring.
This is Allison heading to the CBS CVS after the show.
This is me at the CBS All Access after show.
Oh my god.
I don't. This is definitely a Halloween Express wig that came with contouring makeup. It's like
it's so bad. It's like she like stuck her head like out like the car window, like as they're like driving down the freeway, and it just got like stuck like blown back there.
She put all her makeup on her nose, and what was left over, she threw on her eyes. The point is not to notice.
I just never heard of like nose contouring, so yeah, I don't know. It's just like very pointy, very like I don't know.
She looks like a fucking swordfish.
It's disturbing.
That's the Bianca Del Rio line about it.
I'm doing this. Like I found myself doing this while I was like, I just want to rub my nose. I mean, she got eliminated. How does she not know turn the beat around?
Yeah, that was terrible.
I know that song.
Yeah.
Judy from Finance at the office Christmas party knows turn the beat around.
But you know what's also great about that lip sync is that you get a really good sense of what Darian brings for lip syncing. And I think a lot of people automatically discount bigger girls if they're not, because so many people think that lip syncing means you have to be able to pull out all these amazing tricks and dance moves. But Darian really brings it. Lip syncing should look like you're the one singing the song. And Darian has that energy where she brings all the facial expressions. She
was about to knock Magnolia off the damn stage. She's like, yeah, here, I got this. Beat around, love to hear percussion. Even I know the song.
Like the lip singing was so bad.
I know.
Like everybody knows that. The flute playing. like everybody knows that song.
But I was really happy to see Bad Attitude get its comeuppance here, like that, and so I was glad that she like totally bombed it, and she got eliminated here because right when she got her theme and she like opened up the box, she was like, I can't do anything with this. What is this? Like,
denim.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, like get creative. Like that's what you're here for.
Exactly. That's exactly the
problem. What's wrong with the pantyhose? Are supposed to at least match something.
That matches. If you had jaundice, that would match.
That looks like support diabetic pantyhose that people who need blood circulation going again in their legs.
Yeah, it was a mess. This is not she's drama, but not like the good drama like Gia was.
She's annoying drama.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just get her out. So I was happy to see this person.
So Allison, I know that you need to go, but Audrey in the chat, Audrey Radajak wants to know who were your top 3 predictions, and Tyler, if you want to answer now, or if you want to wait until we do the other couple of queens.
I don't know anybody yet. I know that I like Courtney.
Yep.
That one.
Courtney.
And I like who was the one that was I don't know, something about Milk.
Milk?
The one with the beard.
The beard, the Gandalf beard.
Yep, that's Milk.
Made me laugh so hard. That was just oh shit. The one that was trying to talk Milk out of the goatee.
Remember who Bianca?
That is.
He was like, why are you like, that is the worst, like don't wear it. Like
the one that said, hope you're packed.
Yeah, I hope you're packed. I've been shaving this beard all day. I've shaved 20 times just
that's Bianca.
Okay, that one.
Yep.
Let's see. So I'm gonna say Bianca Del Rio, just because just very positive like vibes editing wise. I can't unsee that. The one who did the Ben de la Creme, the Golden Girls one.
Yeah.
And probably somebody from the second group. Overall, like the second group had like better characters. I think I'll say Milk along with Allison too. I think he's or she is one to watch as well.
And here's the thing: Milk doesn't mind if you say he.
Okay.
One thing that's got to go before I leave is the teeth. I don't know who it is that's got the Lauren Hutton takes the fake fucking teeth.
So you're talking about Trinity.
No,
we haven't seen yet. Trinity K. Bonet. The K stands for Kardashian. So obviously seeing Khloe Kardashian was by. So she wears a flipper when she's So it's like you
don't have a picture of the flipper? Where's the flipper? Is that her?
I don't think I have a picture of that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, she's got big teeth flipping flippers in her mouth, and it's cray-cray, and I don't get it. And then the excess line, I get the big lips. It's a drag, you got your liner is starting inside your nose and coming out, and it's in your jaw.
So, I liked the look better than her presentation here. I didn't really see like anything that like stood out as far as like a character moment or anything.
I mean, this is beautiful. I love this.
Yeah.
But take the flippers out.
So the flipper makes her teeth look like, because she has like kind of like more uneven, jagged teeth. I know. Brandon, this is exactly why we wanted, some of the patrons wanted to do Drag Race. So if you guys are enjoying this and you like Allison and Tyler's commentary, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/myweeklymeltdown, because then you'll have access to the rest of the season while we cover this. This is the only one that we're going to do for everyone to see.
How many do we have left?
We'll do 6 more episodes of this.
No, I mean, how many drag queens do we have left?
12.
One more.
Oh, we only have one more left?
Yeah, we have the beard.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Yeah. This is Milk.
Yeah. So honestly, I thought he looked pretty good, like out of makeup. That was my first impression. I was like, okay.
That was a lot of people's first impression. It continues to be their first and only.
And I love her makeup.
Yeah.
Her lips. I love this outfit. And then she throws Fu Manchu on her chin, as they call that in the South. I hope I'm not, but that's a Fu Manchu. Is what they call that. It throws me off.
I think her height really helps her out here too.
Yeah.
Milk is the tallest queen in the season at 6'4", and that's before heels.
Wow.
So I've met Milk. So Milk is actually, Milk and I are the same age, and I was convinced, because he's from the same area that I am from in Central New York, I actually think we might have been in the same daycare at one point. And I couldn't prove it, but I met Milk at DragCon, and I said, "Yeah, I know that you went to, Jamesville DeWitt High School, and I would have gone to a neighboring high school if I'd been in that area, but I'd moved." And then we started talking about it a little bit. But Milk is absolutely amazing in person, but this season is just
a chance. I mean, look at that. I wouldn't have put a beard on.
I mean, here's the part. Everybody seemed kind of sour on the idea. The next season, they did a bearded runway theme because of this look.
What a trailblazer. There you go. Yep. I think that's it for the looks, right?
That's it for the looks, and so for the challenge and stuff. Do you guys agree with the winners being Ben de la Creme for the Golden Girls look and Bianca Del Rio for the Luau looks?
Definitely, but I will say Bianca, that's an easy look to put together. So
I would agree.
There's a little asterisk there for me. So we'll see if she does better next week. I just feel like I haven't seen enough to say that she's good so far.
Yeah. I don't know. And then the bottom two for the TV show one was Adore and Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And do we think that they were the worst two? That was Honey Boo Boo and Downton Abbey.
Boring.
Yeah, I think so. I think that those were, exactly. The people that were in trouble were the ones that played it safe and just had a shitty attitude. So I like that the extra effort and the extra care and love and passion is being rewarded in this type of thing.
Yep. And then Magnolia and Darian were the two for the party theme, and we already talked about their lip sync and everything.
Yeah.
Vivacious and Kelly. I'm sorry. Thank you. It was not Adore. Vivacious and Kelly.
Darian, really good lip syncer. So I hope she's not in bottom two a lot, but I'm excited if she is, because the lip syncing was very good. Yeah.
Well, listen, y'all continue. I gotta run because I gotta go get some meds.
Okay.
Y'all know I need them meds. I love you. Subscribe to my weekly meltdown. Become a patron so you can watch us cover 3 and 4 next week. Oh, Jesus, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. All right, you guys continue.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
But yeah, I really can't wait for Allison to watch this more, because I feel like she's going to have the best kind of commentary for something like this.
Oh my God. I so agree. I really feel like I think that Allison is going to so get invested in some of these personalities. I can't wait to hear about it. And I really Matt Henning, who is also the one that suggested that we do this as a patron and just everything, said he and I basically already know who you guys are going to root for just based off of what we think. So we can't wait to see if we're proven right, but we don't want to say anything about it until, you guys are in the season. I don't want to put expectations on you guys. So.
Yeah, no, I like what I see so far. Great pick for the season. This, like I said, this is my first episode I've ever watched of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I'm excited to see more. It seems very entertaining, and honestly, I get so strategy heavy with Big Brother and Survivor. It's really fun for me to just kind of kick back and enjoy these characters for what they are. Is just entertainment.
And what's great about if you do like Drag Race and you decide I kind of want some of this voting each other out aspects of it, then you should definitely watch All Stars 2, 3, 4, and 5, because
I've heard about this
voting aspects where they get rid of each other because it's an All Star season rather than.
How do you feel about that?
I like it a lot.
You like it a lot? Because I've heard from some people that they don't like it. It's not true to the talent show of it all.
So here's my thing. if you want to be America's Next Drag Superstar, you win it the first time around. If you want to be on All Stars, it's about showing how much you've grown from your talent, and it's not necessarily about winning, because you're not called the next greatest drag superstar. You're just put in the Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah, no, that makes sense. It's
not the same kind of thing. So it's really more about saying, this is how much I've stepped it up since I was on last time, and giving yourself a platform to show that. So I'm all about, like, you see between seasons 2 and 5, there are slight differences. There are people who have adapted strategy, but the first season that they do it in All Stars 2, a lot of people are really timid to vote out the wrong person because they can come
to bite you.
Yeah, they don't want it to come back to bite them. And then you see people being like, this person's strong, I'm getting rid of them later on.
Yeah. So there's like a layer of strategy to it. Okay. So we'll see how this goes. Like I might be bullish on like the voting people out, but you make a really good point that, like, you know, if they wanted to win it just based on talent, they had the chance to. So that's very fair. But yeah, I can't wait to see the rest.
Are really good. All Star season 2, in my opinion, is the best season of any of the drag races. This is it for me, a second place season, like in terms of all time. But this is the best normal season in my opinion. So
like, and this is like the best season to like start off watching RuPaul's Drag Race with.
Yes. So if you were watching the show and you haven't watched yet, but now you're interested in doing so, if you have CBS All Access, you can watch on CBS All Access, because Viacom, which has MTV and like Comedy Central and a few of those, actually all combined with CBS All Access. So you can watch RuPaul's Drag Race season 6 on CBS All Access. You can also buy it on Amazon Prime. If you're not in the US, I believe you can also watch it on the Wow Presents app if you're subscribed to that, or on Netflix. But if you're in the US, you can't watch it there. So just putting that out.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you liked what you saw here, so we made this show like public just as like a little preview for what's to come for recapping RuPaul's Drag Race. But if you like what you saw tonight, want to see us cover the rest of the season, this is going to be a Patreon exclusive show, recorded every Thursday-ish, depending on our availability and stuff like that, of course. But we will be doing a weekly recap of this for our patrons. So if you're interested in that, go check out patreon.com/myweeklymeltdown and check out our different tier levels there and stuff like that. I think like the lowest tier level like gets you this bonus show. So you don't even have to contribute much to enjoy the entertainment. And I just can't wait to see Allison losing her shit over these personalities. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope that you guys enjoyed.
All right. Bye, guys. Take care.